Policy is a dream. And right now it's a very expensive dream. Dreams come true, sometimes they don't come true. But if it comes true, maybe it will be 15 years from now. And who knows what cost will it be. So let's be realistic. Let's challenge our policymakers with cost, with timing, other than just statement. We're going here. Don't ask me why. We're just going here. And almost every interview and interaction I have with people here in Hawaii, they don't have the convincing bullet points to tell me why we need to go there. They just know we go there. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Normally people want to know what are the implications. Where's the natural curiosity here? It's different to me. There is no one market in the world that is based on clean energy, alternative energy. Being the only example normally is not a good thing in anything in life. Let's let other one or two markets do it, see how it works, see what does it do to the cost, and then implement the good things, learning about the bad things. But being the bleeding edge and, make the people in Hawaii suffer because of that, I'm not sure it's the right policy, just because it sounds good. Clean energy. Just a very costly statement. Who has the luxury here in Hawaii to put all of this solar equipment in their house? Only the people with money. I mean, you don't talk about the large part of the public that can even afford that. What does it mean? It's a good idea. Maybe it works, but it costs so much that people cannot afford that. So, will it be possible 5 years from now, 10 years? Yeah, maybe. So it will help the demand from the grid coming from burning fuel oil will come down as the technology gets more and more affordable, so people like us can execute it and put it in our house, and then the refinery will have to adjust. The refinery won't be able to compete with something cheaper. The refinery can compete with something which is a dream, which does not exist, which is more expensive. And this is what I'm here to remind the public, that let's be practical, let's be realistic, and until we don't have this transition, let's at least not bury the solution. The few consultants that work with policymakers that drive their own agenda, and the market is satisfied with that, surprisingly. And we don't get the other side to tell the real story. And I think we need to shake and wake up the people, guys. We haven't seen any of the cost of that. Let's be happy with what we have, and let's let time to bring this technology to the right price and the right performance. The technology today may be able to deal with your housing requirement. You're gonna put your vacuum, you're gonna operate your washing machine, it's gonna work. But there are no good technologies yet that can handle such a large, significant move of and switches on the main grid today, like fuel oil burn can do. Solar and other stuff cannot respond yet to the volatility. So maybe it's good on the flat consumption. See what I mean? Fuel oil is still needed beyond pricing. It's needed on the quality and performance of things until one day technology will be available. So 70% is a dream, 100% is okay. Maybe our grandkids will benefit from something like that one day. close to 20% of what we make go to electricity. If we lose 100% of that tomorrow, then two things will happen. First, we'll change our code slate, meaning our code mix, to make more of this instead of that. You know, all the discussions about clean energy before, for me, categorized as a nonsense. LNG is in a much higher level of a nonsense because, first, it's mentioned here as a bridge. Now, someone needs to tell me, how does it qualify to be a bridge? It is still fossil oil, so it has the same hydrocarbon component like any other crude. When it's produced down there, somewhere in the world, people use fracking and other mean stuff to make it happen. So it's not friendly, it's not clean, it's fossil fuel, okay? Cost. Maybe it was relevant when crude was $120, $130 a barrel, and natural gas was $2.5. But decisions like this cannot be made based on a snapshot. Decisions are made based on a long-term view where the natural gas and crude are going. Crude is oversupplied. In a world that consumes 92 million barrels per day, we have about 93.5 million supply. We have 1.5 million barrels per day of extra, which is built in the second year now in a row. We have enough crude that can support relatively low prices for a long time. You know, OPEC is cutting, you know, we are slowing down here because of the lower crude price. We have a lot of reserves to keep crude price. People have normally more challenges with the longer term memory. So they remember crude at 100 and 120 because it was last year and 2 years ago. What they don't remember is natural gas at $11 and $12 million BTU 7 years ago. So if crude goes up to its max, 140, okay, it will go up 3 times. I agree, disaster. But if natural goes up to its max, it will have to go up 4 times. So where is the biggest risk? So when you try to put a market on something that works, you cannot use a $50 barrel right now snapshot because maybe it's too low compared to future average. But at the same time, you don't have to go back to 150, and you cannot use a $2.5 per million BTU natural gas price because it's really a low point in a decade. So you have to be realistic. Natural gas, in average, shouldn't be a cheaper solution than crude oil for this market. And then losing a lot of evaporation and inefficiency from all of this operation. Okay? So expensive natural gas price at the source is a high risk. High transportation is given because we are far away. Non-efficient operations is a given because this is how it works. And then what we have here, a 1 million people market, a $300 to $500 million investment overall in natural gas to get it going cannot be justified when the size of the Hawaiian market plus its location, far away from the resource. And every market that got the privilege of LNG production there ended up with a mix where crude is much more dominant. So yes, LNG can take over electricity when it's produced right there and you don't have all this inefficiency, but hey, gasoline, diesel, all the rest belong to the refinery worlds. The world growth demand is up 2 to 3% in 2015. It's supposed to go up 2 to 3% in 2016. we are talking about additional 2 million barrels per day of additional consumption all over the world. So what we have to do here is just look around us, see what the dynamics all over the world, and ask ourselves, can we really plan on something different, completely out of the trends? Does it make sense? What do we have that can justify any other alternative fuel or clean fuel that will really make us want to do that? And if someone thinks there is, show us the numbers. Biofuel has a potential when it's done right. If Hawaii would come with an agriculture synergy where you can put together soy, corn, palm trees that can go into such a production locally and be added to the hydrocarbon, maybe the economics will be there sometimes. Maybe, not for sure. I mean, it's getting closer, but maybe we have a chance. People talk about biofuel here today like it's real, forgetting that our capacity here on the island is only 5 million gallons per year, and all the rest need to come from expensive import cooking oil that I mentioned before from LA, or maybe a soybean field out there in Omaha, Ohio, trucked to the West Coast, coming here, so much more expensive than your average gasoline or diesel fuel. Every time we blend bio today, we increase the price of the gasoline and diesel automatically for the consumers. Something that is a compromise, but by definition it has to be a one step to the right direction, right? Then you call it a bridge. There's nothing in this natural gas story that is one step to the right direction. Because all of these investments that I'm talking about, hundreds of millions of dollars, nothing will be used with any other type of clean energy. It's not that we need a loading facility for something and the trucking for something else. We are creating a monster that has to have at least 15 years of life in order to potentially provide a break-even return, and will be completely residual value zero at the end of its life. Nextera is a very good company. They have an analytical approach about life. They don't live in dreams. So I think what they will bring here is definitely the right approach about making electricity the lowest cost possible. They will bring a good access to capital, an efficient cost structure to capital. Will it help the utilities or the electricity cost structure? Yes. Will it move the needle on natural gas versus crude? No.